Hey everybody, Nags here again with another video on modding Starbound. Today we are going to create our first two items. Um, we're going to make, or we're going to start progress on making our an ore and the ingot it will smelt into. We're not going to implement it fully into the game today. We're only going to make the items of it and recipes to convert the ore to the ingot, and that's going to be about it. Um, we are going to create the graphics for it, and we are going to go over metadata for our mod. So to get started, I've already got open my Starbound local files, and I've got open our workspace, which we created in the last episode. If you don't have these open yet, get to this point and then continue on. Okay, so first we're going to come into our mods folder, and we're going to create a new folder, and we'll call this tutorial mod. Nothing too difficult and pretty simple. The first thing we're going to want to do before we actually create our mod is create our metadata file. Um, to do that, just come down, right click, hit new, and just do a new text document. If yours, I'm not sure if it shows the extension by default. If it doesn't show it, come over to view, go to options, go here, and have where it says hide extensions for known file types, make sure that is unchecked and then hit apply. The reason why, oops, did not want to open that, so then we'll come back down and hit rename, is because, dang it, our metadata file does not have an extension. Its name is going to be underscore metadata, just like that, metadata. It's going to ask you if you are sure you want to change the extension. You're going to hit yes, and it's going to look like a blank file that you can't use. You can just right click on it, and if you've installed Atom, you'll be able to do open with Atom. Otherwise, you should also get the option to edit with Notepad++ if you're using that. If you didn't install either of those and you're using a different software, then there it goes, edit with the Notepad++. You'll have to do open with, and it'll get your um, file or program selection, and you'll just have to choose whichever one you're using. If you're using just regular Notepad, I'm going to highly discourage it and tell you to go get either Notepad++ or Atom. Okay, so I'm going to open it up with Atom. Okay, so in here, we just got a real simple um, code to put in. We're going to do our bracket here, hit enter, tab out, and type, or we're going to do parentheses, and we're going to type in all lowercase, friendly name, one word, parentheses, space, semicolon, parentheses. In here is going to be the friendly name of our mod. Um, so what we'll do is we'll do tutorial space mod, close it with the last parentheses, and then do a comma. Hit enter. Should automatically tab out unless you're using something that doesn't, then you'll have to tab out for the next line again. And now we're going to do name, just regular name, and then in here, all lowercase, one word, tutorial mod, comma. The difference between friendly name and name is when I load this mod up into Starbound and I click the little gear in the corner and it's going to show me the list of mods I have installed, and I click on tutorial mod, it's going to show me tutorial mod written out. It's not going to show me tutorial mod like this. This is purely just for other mods to see that name, and so that way if they want to use items implemented by our mod or change something in our mod, they have to know what this is in order to edit our mod. Um, you don't want to make it something very generic. You want to make it very unique to your mod. So that way you don't accidentally have a mod ID with somebody else's mod. So next, on the next line, will be author, and in here we'll put your name. In this case, I am Natix, comma. Um, with the commas at the end of the line, whenever you finish a line and you plan to have another line of code after that, you need to have a comma. Otherwise, when you don't put a comma, the game engine, when it reads this JSON file, is going to go, okay, that should be the end of code here until we get a new bracket. If like I did another bracket here, then we'd have a comma there and whatever. But if you don't have the comma and you do more code, then the game's going to see it there and it's going to go, wait a minute, there wasn't a comma here, and it's going to crash and it won't work. So we'll do a comma, and then on the next line, we'll do a description, and we'll just say tutorial mod to learn how to mod Starbound. You don't have to put anything in the description. You can leave it blank. It won't matter. And then in the next line, we will do version. And this is going to be, we're still working on it, so this is going to be version 0.1. Or if you want to be, you can do whatever version you want. The usual way I do it is I go 0.0.1. And the way I break this down is so we're currently work in progress. So this right here will just be um, going up every time we add new content to it. When we get it done, but we're still testing it, then it'll be 0.1.0, and then every time we find a bug and fix it, this will go up one. And then when we do a full release, it'll be version 1.00. And after I hit that, basically bug and fixes, the third number goes up, new features added or removed, second number goes up, and then new version of the mod altogether, this one goes up. But that usually doesn't happen. It should just stay version 1. But so for now, I guess technically we want that. And then as we go, we'll be just incrementing this one up. Okay, and that's it for our metadata. Um, if you upload your mod to Steam, which I will showcase in another or in a later video, is going to add more to this, like a link to it and other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head. But we'll go over that when that happens. For now, this is good, and we can hit Control S to save that. And just because, I'm going to right click inside the folder here and hit Open with Atom, just so now I've got the whole folder here and we're good to go. Okay, so now we want to make our new items. We're going to want to have a good file structure so that we're well organized. So, I mean, we can just put all the files in this one folder here and have it all just right here. But it's not going to look good. It's going to look crappy. If other people try and build off of our mod or want to use information from our mod or whatever, they're going to have a hard time looking through it because it's going to be super unfriendly to the user. So what I typically do is I follow the file structure of the, oh man, I can't think, of Chucklefish's assets. Um, I know from previous experience that when we're making new items and ores and stuff, it's going to be under items. If you ever hear me say the root or main folder, that's going to be right here where everything can be found. Not out here where we can see unpacked, it's going to be inside the unpacked here. So this right here where we have our metadata, that will be the root or main folder for our mod. Okay, so come up here. What we're going to do is we're going to come find one of the ores from here. And it should be under materials, I do believe. We'll just find copper ore. Let's see, copper block, copper platform. Maybe not. No. Okay. Generic. That's what it's under. And then crafting. Yes, it'll be under here. So items, generic, crafting. And I know that this is where we're going to find ores and bars. So we want to make the same structure in here. So over here, new folder, call it items. Just double hit enter so you save it and then go inside. And then we want generic. Enter, enter. New folder again. Crafting. Enter, enter. You don't have to make your file structure the same as I'm doing it. I just think it's a lot easier if you follow their file structure because then you're going to be used to navigating this one and your mods. But you don't have to. You can make your file structure however you want, whatever makes sense to you. Just keep in mind that this one is not going to change. Okay, so now we'll come down here and we'll see we got copper bar dot item, copper bar dot ping, copper ore dot item, and copper ore dot ping. We're going to grab all four of these, hit Control C, bring them over here, and Control V. It's a lot easier when you're making new items if you can go through the items that already exist in the game and find one to base your item or tool station or whatever off of. So next we will rename all of these, so instead of being copper we are going to make tin. So just go ahead and change each one of these from copper whatever to tin whatever, cop or bar. Tin and tin. Okay, so we will change the tin ore dot item first. I've already got mine set, so Atom is the default editor for them. But if yours isn't, you can either just double click it and it'll ask you what you want to make it, or you can right click and just hit open with Atom or your editor. Okay, don't pay attention to the fact that mine just changed colors. All I've got is a package installed with Atom that lets me um, set the syntax for the files I have open, and this is a JSON file, this is a JSON file, and I've got it set to a shortcut so that I can change it. If you want it, you'll have to get packages that allow you to do that, and feel free to shoot me a message and I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, so in our tin ore item, you'll see in here we got copper ore, copper ore, copper ore, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that's not what we want because we're not making copper ore, we're making tin. If you forget to change this and you try and load it into the game, it won't load. In fact, copper ore itself won't load because the game will say it has two instances of it being added and it won't know which one to use. So change this to tin. Leave the category to crafting material. It's still going to be a common and we're going to leave the price at 10. So then we can change this one to 10. And we'll change this to 10. And we'll change this to 10. And that should be it. Now I'll go through and I'll change it or explain what this is. So item name, tin ore. This is kind of like with our mod name. This is something you'll never see in game. This is purely just for the game engine to reference that name so it knows the ID basically of the item. Price, obviously, this means like how much it is bought or sold for in the game from different vendors. Rarity, common, how rare it is. You got common, uncommon, rare, and legendary. I feel like there's another one, but I can't remember what it would be. Category is crafting material. There are lots of different categories. We will go over that another time. Uh, Inventory icon, tin ore.ping. All this is to reference which image it's going to use in game to display your item. Description, tin ore can be used for smelting. So basically, when you highlight over an item, it's going to display this description. And then short description, tin ore. This is the name of the item that you're going to actually see in game. Item tags, reagent. Uh, every crafting material basically will have this tag for reagent. Again, it's kind of like a category, but it's a tag. I'll go over it another video. Radio messages on pickup. Pickup ore. I am not really sure what that means, to be honest. There you go. Okay, so we don't have to leave Atom to get to our next one because we've got our structure here. We just changed tin ore.item. Now we will change tin bar.item, and I will um, instead of going through and writing out each and every one of these, we can hit Control F, and we're going to tell it down here to find copper, and it's going to highlight all 4 instances of copper in there, and we'll hit tin, and then if you hit find, it's going to go through each one highlighting them. I can hit replace once, and it's going to replace it right there, or I can hit replace all, and it's going to replace each and every instance where it says 10. And then right here on the short description, I'll just make sure the T is capital and save it. And this will work just fine. So item name, tin bar, inventory icon, tin bar.ping, short description, tin bar. Oh, and description, ore for tin bars is found at shallow depths on most planets around all stars. Woo! Okay, so right now, this is a completely working mod that adds tin bar and tin ore to the game. The only problem is that we haven't changed these. These are going to still look like copper on their own. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and open up our image editing software. For me, that's going to be Pixel Edit. For you guys, it's going to be whatever you decided to use. Some people use Photoshop. Some people use just Paint, Paint.net, ASC Sprite, just whatever. Oh, I still have that open. Okay, so if you're using Pixel Edit, the easiest way to do this is going to be to not use that. Come over to this one and just grab your 2 ping files and click and drag them in. And you'll click single image tile. Oh, and single image tile for the other one. And these are our defaults. So obviously we don't want this to look like copper. We want this to be a tin base color. So I will come in here. I'm going to select this gray here, and with Pixel Edit, you get this little arrow right here. If you click it, it gives you different shadings that you can use. Um, Another good idea before you start editing it right away is to just open up Google and search tin ore and go to images. Just kind of get a good idea of what tin actually looks like. It's kind of a silvery, dark gray color, not very shiny, just kind of looks like a rock. Or you can go off the Minecraft version, it's white. But in essence, it's a gray rock, not shiny. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to kind of use these colors up here. First off, I'm just going to use this shade here for everywhere that I have this color. And if I hit F, it'll give me my fill tool, and I can just fill this in much easier. And I will do it on both images just to make things a little bit easier. I'm not going to change the hues that are a different color. Are those the same? Yeah, they are. Okay. And then we're going to go to the lighter colors first. I don't think I want to use this one. Let's see how that looks. It's not enough of a change to justify using it, so I'm going to use this one. And that will go here. And then I will use this one on here. And then we'll grab the darker color here. Probably grab this one and we'll do the darkest. No, we won't. We'll do this one and this one here. And then over here, we're going to grab this dark gray to do this. Kind of just experimenting, seeing how it looks. And I don't think it looks half bad. You can zoom out, kind of get an idea of how it looks. Scroll wheel zooms out, and if you click and hold the scroll wheel, you can use it to move around. I think both of those look great. So now what we'll do is we'll come over here, File, Export, Export Image, and click this path, or Browse, and go find your Workspace, go to your mods, in here, select folder for crafting. Okay, so we're exporting this one first. We want it to be a ping. We don't have any layers. We want the pixel scales to be 1. So if you do 2, then what that's going to do is instead of each of these dots being 1 pixel, that's going to be 4 pixels. And then 3 will be a 3 by 3, so it'll be 9 pixels, and so on and so forth. Leave it at 1, unless you want to upscale it. There's no reason to do that, but you can. File name, so this is our tin ore. Hit save on that, and it's going to tell you that it already exists. Yeah, go ahead and overwrite it. Now we'll do this one and just take off ore and do bar and hit save. Yes. Okay, we are ready to test this mod out. So come all the way back to your mods folder outside of your root, grab the mod, open up your Starbound folder, go to mods, and hit Control V. And then go ahead and play Starbound. Okay, so what you want to do when you get into Starbound, first off, is you want to verify that your game is actually here. And we'll see it right there, tutorial mod. And you'll see that it actually did put the non-friendly name there, which it shouldn't have. I'm not sure why it did. I may have actually have that backwards where it puts the non-friendly name here. Okay, so we can close that with the escape. Hit start game. What you're going to want to do is set up a character just for testing. You don't want to use your normal play character. And as you can see, I've got other mods installed. It shouldn't matter if you're doing modding with other characters. It's whatever. I'm going to just grab a Nova Kid and we'll just randomize them a couple times. Sure. Casual, and for my testing characters, I like to name them Test. And that's all there is to it. Make sure you click skip intro and just hit done. If you want to customize your test character, you can. It doesn't matter. Just come over here and get the lights turned on. Yep, cool, whatever. Okay. Just gonna tell it to untrack this. Alright. So now, what you want to do is hit enter to open your chat. Do a backslash or forward slash, I can't ever remember which one it is. It's the one that looks like that. And type in admin. And it will say admin privileges now given to player testing or to your player name. And then you can either press enter again to open chat, or if you press just backslash when it closes, if you press just a slash, it'll automatically open chat with the backslash there. Now we're going to position the mouse where we want items to spawn, and we'll type in spawn item, all one word, space the name of our items. So this is going to be tin ore, the altogether one word name. Don't use the short description name. It'll tell you that it doesn't know what tin is. You discovered some ore. Ore can be turned into bars. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So then the next one will be same thing. We'll just, if you hit up, it'll bring up your last used command. We can just get rid of ore and hit bar. That looked like tin bar, tin ore. Huh. So for some reason our tin bar decided to use our tin ore image. So let's open up our editor here. Tin bar, inventory icon, tin bar. Did we... Oops. Accidentally extract, or yeah. Yes. Close you. No, I don't need to save it. It's extracted. Save. Okay, so I guess I have to close that because it wants to be a pain, and hit export image. It should keep the last used one, and we'll do tin bar. Now we should have the correct image there. Oops. And we do. So we can just copy that open tutorial mod here, go all the way in, control paste it in. And unfortunately, we'll have to restart Starbound. It's always important to do tests like this when you're making your mod, because it'll be the simple bits of code that you're absolutely sure you did right that get through and end up not working. Okay, so we'll open this guy back up, and if we look in our inventory now, we should have the correct image, and we do. Tin bar. Looks perfect. It's got the correct prices for both items, and looks just exactly how I wanted it to look. If you want it to look like something else, that's up to you. You can do whatever you want. So now, if we do spawn item inventors table 1, nope, is it just inventors tables? Yep. Okay. We're gonna place that sucker down. If you ever spawn an item that doesn't actually exist, that's what you're gonna get. This green block, it's a generic, perfectly generic item. It doesn't do anything at all in the game, but you can place it. I just erase that. Okay, so while you're in admin mode, you can craft anything regardless of the crafting recipe. What we want is an anvil and a primitive furnace. As you can see, there is no tin bar here. Yes, there's 2 iron bars. It's from my mod, Easy Ingots. But yeah, we don't have a tin bar here. We've got everything else that we should, but no tin bar. It's because we haven't created our crafting recipe for it yet. We have to go do that. So go ahead and exit out of Starbound. Come back all the way to your root folder in both areas, which is going to be here for right now. And in your assets root folder, you're going to go down to recipes. Open that up so we know we want recipes over here. And we'll open it up here. And then we want furnace 1. Furnace 1 is going to be your survivalist furnace. Then you got your forge, and then the sci-fi furnace, I believe it is, or unless I changed. But it's your 3 tiers, just like your anvil's got its 3 tiers, and then Venture Table's got its 3 tiers, etc. Okay, so we want furnace 1. So in here we'll make a new one called furnace 1. Open it up, and we're going to want bars. So do a new one called bars. And then in here we're going to copy Control C, our copper bar dot recipe, paste it over here, and we will rename it to tin bar dot recipe. And we will open this one up in our Atom editor. And we want to change it so that instead of taking copper ore, it's going to take tin ore. So we'll go over the code real quick. It says we've got our open bracket and our closed bracket here. That defines the code for the whole area or whole file. Then we've got input. This is going to define the inputs for our item here. Then we've got, oops, our open bracket, and then inside that we've got item tin ore count of 2. What this says is that it's going to intake an item. It's looking for tin ore, and it wants 2 of that item. Once it gets those 2, it's going to output an item of tin bar and a count of 1. This is how long it's going to take to craft. I would just go ahead and leave this at vanilla. Because we are going to put this into the survivalist furnace, if you have instant crafting on, it will instant craft. They don't change individual item recipes in that mod, they change the mechanic of the game altogether. And then in here it's got groups. It says crafting furnace. The survivalist furnace block or object, its name is crafting furnace. That's where it gets this from, and I'll show that to you guys here just real quick so you understand. I don't want that one. So if we come back to our root for our unpacked assets and we go to objects, objects, and we go to crafting, maybe not. I could have swore it was under there. Might be under generic. No. What the heck? Upgrade. No. I could have swore that was under. Okay, well, we'll just do a search. Oh, you know what? I believe if I go, where was that again? Crafting, is it under here as survivalist? No. iron anvil, iron crafting table, rail crafting table, refinery, tier 2 cooking table, upgradable crafting objects. That's what I want. Upgradable crafting objects. In here, there's crafting furnace. Crafting furnace, crafting furnace, and if I open up crafting furnace.object, you'll see here its object name is crafting furnace. That's all you need to know, is that the name of the station where you want it to be crafted is going to be your first one listed here under groups. So next is bars. This is going to be the tab within the crafting furnace that you'll be able to craft it in, where the recipe will locate itself. And then all, that's just saying it's part of all craftable materials in the game. That's all it is. So we hit Control S to save because we've got 10 ore going in for the count of 2 and 10 bars coming out for the count of 1. And we'll go ahead and minimize that, come all the way back to the Starbound folder, open the mods folder, delete this, and then we'll come back to the mods folder over here, and we'll hit Control C on here, Control V, because this is our source code of our mod, and this is where it goes if we're testing it. So we're just taking it out of here, putting it over here, bam, no problem. And then we will go ahead and open it in Starbound. Start your game again. And now, if we come in here, we will see 10 bar right there. And it says that I need to have 2 to craft it, but we're in admin mode, so we can go ahead and craft it. And we've got 10, just like that. And we'll just throw it here, and yeah, throw it away. And now I've got 21 because it still thinks whatever. But there you go, guys. That is how you can make your first item with any material you want to base it off of, and how you can set up a crafting area. Next video, we will probably go over how to implement the ore itself into the game and reference the item object when you're mining the ore. Until then, guys, have a good one.